You are using the voice audio. Okay. Yes.
这是对的。
继续到哪里？
继续啦。
哦，这是对的。
Shidele Gishila.
Shidele Geshila.
这是对的。
Tashidele Gishila.
哦，这是对的。
继续到那边，我把它移高一点。
这是我的，你的忙不来个，这是我的，你的忙不来个的，你。
哦，later。
对。
later，
Ignore the chat.
它只有 later 和 join audio。哦，可是就顶住啊。
那就 later.
继续和那个。水。这样来一个。
Gishila, there are some Indonesian friends joining us today, Gishila. Sitting here.
Yeah, I think then.
是的，他们就学语。
So we welcome the Indonesian friends.
呀，这是对的，学音思。
是的，是的嘞，
这是对的。
开始吧。
我这个来成的。
哦，
我这来成的。
发财了嘞。
Okay, so we start with So we start the session with a prostration. Namo Manjo Shriye, Namo Su Shriye, Namo Dhamma Shriye Soha. O Namo Manjo Shriye, Namo Su Shriye, Namo Dhamma Shriye Soha. O Namo Manjo Shriye, Namo Su Shriye, Namo Dhamma Shriye Soha.
让解决大自解决那来将就把头大年家族，大概学学这个从那间做了并且上天做白说上节接到昨天就拿来将就把头大年家族接大概学学这个从那间做了并且上天做白说上节接到昨天就拿来将就把头大年家族接。 大概学学这边从哪给着了，并且上给着吧，说啥些别给休息没多长，日热那些你得给嘛的，上给心头没得不怀疑，都给那大心了这吧说，也当不如人那没到了看你呀大呀。
我老公现在是 cleaner 的。
咱们是的，这里他们是稳重的去，上面去当说啊，稳重的去做，他们修当都是，都就觉得哪里上班那些，旅那个去对点进，可都是不可都全部上的，都是求个心思，这我是稳重的，再去接一次啊。
So we start the session with the breathing meditations. So sit according to the 7 meditative posture of Vairocana. So these I have mentioned before, such as sitting straight and etc. So you can sit in the meditative posture of Varachana, and then we will do a breathing meditation.
当我说的那个医院头了，我也他头现在他呢，需要我医院的嘛当地的测记录是库巴基上我是测记录对吧？院里呀我的的讲到上去抢救是吧？我给前来为谁第是干嘛？第是刚刚说一下，说氧气吧，上当，持续吧上当，到院里嘛当一个了，结果拆了他们那个设备，地方搞的嘛，哪听起码是了嘛，叫你难看的把医送上上去，绝对没把钱的是吧？到院里也送我院里嘛送当，到院里也送嘛送，等你个你送，你个嘛送去那苦不紧，整个工作不多啊，我的电台呢，今年我自己整个3年，我是这样意思。
So this breathing meditation is the 9 round meditations. So when we visualize Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in front of us, in the sky in front of us. So when we breathe in, so we visualize, we breathe in together with the nectars flows from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas together with light. So in the form, in the color of white, red, and blue. So the bright red and blue nectar together with light flows from Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and enters into our body. So together with our in-breath. And then we breathe out with our left nostrils. So when we breathe out with our left nostrils, so we visualize all our negativities, sicknesses, obstacles, etc. So those undesirable things in the form of black smoke or black liquid come out from our body together with the out breath and vanish in the sky. So when we breathe in with our right nostril, breathe out with our left nostrils, that consider 1 time. So we do this for 3 times. And the second set is we breathe in with left nostrils and we breathe out with right nostrils. And we do it for 3 times. And third set is we breathe in and out with both nostrils for 3 times. So 3 times each and becomes 9 round breathing meditation.
다 이제 그런 그런 지야. 나간다 신신체 탄지기 체도 산지시 공부도 대체도 나간다 전주 런저링 취신이 년에 추긴도 지금서 되는 그런 지sab다시스.
And followed by setting motivations. For the sake of all sentient beings, I want to become Buddha. And for the sake of this, I'm going to receive Lamrim teachings and I will put it into practice.
Oh yeah, thank you.他可是我是厂的设计的去控制吧，讲究让人们提了细些，他讲究让人给找设计找啊，多的细的是，细的了去控制吧，点不现在吧就当然了，可不去去去啊，去完你点不去了，你就当把你就那么些的人生吧是的细的哇，他设计习惯的了嘛，我从我这些钱是当不了啊。
So to continue where we stopped last class, so we were talking about the 4 root outlines of Lamrim teachings. So these are the 4 root outlines, showing the greatness of the author in order to show that this Dharma is of pure source, showing the greatness of the Dharma and how to listen and explain the Dharma. So I'm going to explain from the 4 root outlines.
다 사지 대시보데 저런서 맞아 대 인지 민지 고 나토는 지토나 야보레스 사지 시보데 가서 나린 거는 좀 맞아 봐 사지 대시랑 두어레스 고 찬사 다 사지 대시보데 맞아 냐네 지자네가 사지 쿠랑 뭐마 견다로 쉬어인스.
So these are the 4 root outlines of the Lamrim teachings, and I encourage all of you to memorize these 4 root outlines. So if you are not able to memorize others' points, then at least you have these 4 root outlines of Lamrim teachings in your mind. So these 4 root outlines, when it expands, then it expands from the beginning of the Lamrim text up to the end of the Lamrim text.
다 사지 담보데 최控制바 디비전 제법이 채워서 당아서 냐네 지자네 쉬우데 당아서 장주 나리 채마라 나서 태산 진게 냐네 지게 간비 지나 간다 좋아 많다라 비나 심망한테 되는 일하지 냐네 신기지 디구어스 많다라 나서 등로다 채매 봐 체리기 대화잖아 되는 제바이나 어디 등로 나시 채매 봐 차우어스 등로들랑 아주 체인득이 대화상에 체인득이 되지 된다 체도 등록이나 수속이 빼 초기 두네 쉬고 지구열에서 다 나니 제목 가서 냐니 쟁게데 다 등로에 파바지 체도 파바지 네바 구구열에서 대구 와서서 대 많다베 나니 쟁에 니다 간다 추망년도 된다 능이지 어디지 구구열에서.
So the first root outlines is showing the greatness of the author in order to make his Dharma a pure source. So if we were to combine or apply or link these first root outlines to our practice. So when we study, when we listen to Dharma teachings, when we study Dharma teachings, and when we practice Dharma, at least we have to make a difference from the animals. So we have to make a difference. So we have to make a difference from animals. So we should not act indifferently from animals. So what does animal do? So in their lives, what they do is strive for the happiness of this life only. So we must make a difference from them, from what they are doing. So at least we as a student, a person who study Lamrim, and a person who practice Lamrim, our goal should have at least strive for the happiness of future lives.
다들 미순다 가서 사지 시고데 가서 냐니 마도도 샤는 지셔우디 최控制 받긴 비진 제법이 채워서 되게 만족배 장주 라리라 냐니 지게 간디 지나 미나 간다 토저 타도 받은 가서 같이 쉬어 나시 장주서 되래 토저 타도 받 장주서 돼. 다 장주서 조비 상지지 공부되래. 좋아. 당은 또 토저 타도 봐 조비 상지 공부 chanchuzo de sonza da de tobala karu gursna lanjungo mano achila pene dubanyali chegures lanjungo mano achila matimba de chanchuzo de totugo mares ro chanchuzo nga kasi shitsaimba chanchuzo de kanda pangban tashinba yunde다 또반 타신게 연디 내니로와 어디니다 가르스나 창주대 뻔반 타신바데 원이고 또반 타신바데 이시 추고세 되래 다 되니까 창주세 로와 오다 되니 토발라 랑지고 마노와 질레 땡고레 랑지고 마노와데 취 콘즈마 템신즈바 비치와서 디기 세지 디기 다 랑지고 마노와 랑라바소데 디기 나무 땡고 세지 디나노 오 랑지고 마노와 랑라바소데 당 랑라바스뭐 되게 당한서 창주 좀에 상지 공부 창주대 도시 타 여도 몇도 들이다 근데 누가냐는 제거해 드려 그래서지 당부디 대한 드려서
So the perfect first root outline showing the greatness of the author in order to show that his dharma is a pure source. So we as a practitioner of Lamrim, so we study and we practice Lamrim. So what is our ultimate goal? What is our ultimate object of accomplishment? And that is enlightenment. So what I mentioned before, Jiangqiu. So Jiangqiu enlightenment also refers to the state of Buddhahood or state of enlightenment. And what does it mean by Jiangqiu? Or what does it mean by enlightenment? So it has the meaning of perfected in abandonment, and it also has the meaning of perfected in realizations. So the perfections of abandonment refers to the nature truth body, and the perfections of realizations refers to the wisdom truth body. So in order to achieve this ultimate goal, the object of accomplishment, so we have to rely on a path. And that path, the nature of that path must be unmistaken. So otherwise, if we were to rely on a path that is a mistaken one, then we are not able to achieve the ultimate goal, which is Jiangqiu. So we must rely on a path that is unmistaken, and that path refers to the three trainings. So by depending on relying on the path of three trainings, then we will be able to achieve the state of enlightenment.
다서지 당보 치콘즈 마티 민제바디 치와시와 다 저랑게 저랑서 간다 신리도 가르고 있나 사지 당보디게 람중고 마노와 다 람라바소도 템바레시 오다디 당보디 시와.
So if you want to jot down the important points in relation to the first root outlines, then the point is, so we have to rely on a path that is unmistaken, and that is three trainings.
다들 리스는 다 랑지고 마노하지 템비 템고바드 람라바소레 델 람라바소 취 넘버다바 딜라 야 템바 자마지바 델라 되네다 대바다 그거 지바지고 그래서 델라 되네다 대바 그거 지고 그래 되네다 대바 그거 마치바이나 나 대두바냐니 지고 말아 람테야데 람라바스 잡침보 가지이나 야 델라 되네다 그거 대바 지바지고 그래 선주지고 그래서 대 매바이나 대가나 장추도 못도 하나시 다대 되네 그거 디체와라 가르구르스나 사진이바 당알라 그바치비지 취지 쳐와세와 디기 되네다 그바체와라 취되게 랑리기 취되게 간다 취되 가르스나 치와 차히 그바 존세 피에 그래서 참말에 디나노 시오 다 디르시오데 되게 그바 존세 취지 쳐와다 감가 용서 좀바 힘이 토네 때들아 취들아 되네다 그바체오로와 되네다 그바체오로 오 근데서다 당할 그바치비 사진이바 당할 그바 취지 치와스나 취되게 차히다 치와다 감라 용수도 봐 냐니 갈리지고 정말 용수도 봐 된다 평에도 네 시오르서 와 디시와 손상 다 디시비 토네 대취들라 벨람라바솔라 대 되네다 그바 진짜 수치는 그래서 왔다 사진이바 되게 취지 치와대 땡고 한다.
So we have to rely on a path that is unmistaken, and that is three trainings. So not just having the Dharma teachings, and we must have faith in the teachings, and we must have respect for the teachings, and we must put effort in the teachings, and we must strive for the teachings. So if we do not have those qualities, respect, joy, effort, striving, faith, and etc., then we are not able to achieve the state of enlightenment, which is Jiangzhou. So how do we develop such faith and etc. in the teachings? So it links to the second outline, which is showing the greatness of his Dharma in order to generate respect for the instructions. So in the second outlines, it talks about the greatness of the teachings. It talks about what the content of the teachings. It talks about the reason why we have to study. It talks about the benefits. So when we study about these points, contents, the reasons, benefits, and greatness of these teachings, Lamrim teachings, then it will develop. Then we will start to develop those qualities: respect, faith, striving, effort in the teachings. So this is how it links to the second root outline. So the second outlines, it talks about we have to develop faith, respect, striving and effort in the teachings, right? So just having faith and respect is not enough. So after we develop such qualities, then we have to engage in the teachings by listening to and studying and contemplating the Dharma teachings. So this is how it links from second to third outline, which is how the Dharma possessing those two greatnesses should be listened to and explained. So I will explain the explanations in relation to these root outlines will come about later. So just merely listen to the teachings and contemplate the teachings is not, they are not enough still. So what does it lacking of is the fourth, in relation to the fourth outline, the stages by which a student should be guided through the actual instructions. So what does it mean is, after we study, after we listen to the teachings, after we contemplate the teachings, so the meanings that we ascertain or the meanings that we understand develop through contemplation and listening to the Dharma teachings, then we have to put it into practice. So we have to practice the meaning that we ascertain through listening to the Dharma and contemplate the Dharma. So otherwise, if we do not put it into practice, then again, there is no way that we can achieve the ultimate goal, which is enlightenment. So this, that is the fourth root outlines, the stages by which a student should be guided through the actual instructions. And that covers from the first topic in Lamrim, which is Guru devotions, up to the last topic, which is the union, union of non-training. So this is from the very beginning up to the end of the topic. So this is what we should put into practice. The meaning that we have ascertained, and we have to put it into practice. And the way that we practice is in gradual order. So the way we practice the topic is in gradual order, like a staircase. So we take the step one by one, and then we will be able to reach the destinations of enlightenment. So what I just explained about how do we practice in relation to these 4 root outlines is what we are going to explain along the class, along the whole program, along the whole course, this topic. So we'll start to explain from the first root outlines, which is showing the greatness of the author in order to make his dharma a pure source. So first, the author generally, I read from the text. First, the author, generally speaking, the present instructions are the ones that Venerable Protector Maitreya gives in his Ornament for Clear Knowledge. In particular, they are based on Lamrim for the Path to Enlightenment, so that its author is also the author of the present text. Under the name of Great Master Dipankara Sri Gyana, he is also widely known as the Glorious Atisha. So the author of this text, Lamrim for the Path to Enlightenment, is Lama Atisha, and this Lamrim for the Path to Enlightenment is the root text. It's the root scriptures this text was based on, and the sutra that this text was based on were the great length, the middle length, and the short length of Pakyaparamita Sutra.
다 도스 가서 가서 출 랑리 장주 랑리데 코로 림바 기도야 쿵지야가 쿵지바 야 여러마도 쿵메바 진선노 같은 말이스 야 가서 슝데베 쿵지에서 고르서 와 소소 그냥 리지세 시대.
So the root text these Lamrim teachings based on was a lamp for the path to enlightenment, and the root sutra that these Lamrim teachings was based on is the great length, middle length, and the short length or the condensed length of Paramita Sutra. So this is the scriptures, the root scriptures and the root sutra. And this lamp for the path to enlightenment, the root text that it was based on was clear ornament for clear realizations. And then when we slowly trace its origins, then we can trace it to the sutra of perfection of wisdom, so perfection of wisdom sutra. So this is how we trace the origins of this text. So the lamp for the path to enlightenment, the root text is ornament for clear realizations, and then when we slowly trace it, then you can trace it up to the sutra of perfection of wisdom.
다들 미순자 다들 디런도아 당한데 지지 장거지 응아바도 지ring도 지지 당한 인세 로도아 다 디기 준세 단다서 가르스나로아 당한데 지지 장거지 응아도 지지 당하리에세 다 장주란디 니 지당세고로아 다 지당베 된정도 지지 당하리에세 두슬로고여리에세 다디 로고야 준세 가르스나 만수 랑린 디기 땡야도 가르스나 제부순지 랑지 좀 받으러와 저자做的 가르쳐 제부순지 랑지 좀 받으래 근데 선사 근데 된정도 지지 장거지 응아도 지지 당하리에세 와데 응아도 지지 가서 다 시시다 랑시 넘치세 쳔바송 쳔바송다 시와시 레비치고다 제 갑질랑 가서도 제시고로
시시
쳔바송다 이시 랑시 난체소로와 다 조아시로와 다 조아지 드림베 조아지도 가는 나조조아 세조 타조 기지미조아로와 나조조아 다 마리네 조아 어떤 쳔바송 이시 랑시 남체소 쳔바송 어다 쳔바송 된정도 지게서 가서 쳔바송 때문에 쳔바 대송게 넘바 당가서 제마까 시반을 세볼래그러와 까 시반을 세볼래그러 다단단 딜마 시고야데 증에도 지지 당하서다 쳔바 이시지 가서 이시지 가서 넘바라 대시 메타서 주두 덴바시 메타서 주두게 넘바 찬성화 내가 때문에
가리팅 교리 팀마송데
된정도 지지 이시 때문에 가서 이시 시에 가서 다 이시지 넘바들라 뭐게 denshi medasu judu chansa shewe da denshi medasu judu ge namba de su chansa shewe de garu dewa inde garusna chanchu langje remba ge jebu chungu dan ringi langje remba de shia ge zo de o yiji gaso ma shia ge tenda de ma shewe tenda de yiji gaso denshi medasu judu ge namba ge tenda de shewe jebu chungu da ring gaso wa o da ngaso de jingga do ji danga yin so de ngwe do jeje 이시시비 가서 대시 못아서 주두게 넘버 찬스와 대와 선자 대다마 된다데 다 간다 가서디 랑리마 랑들 시에데 디레 뭐도 지 당아 인서와서 다부 제부 충득 랑데 제부 충득 랑데 충무단 링 랑데 이제 간다 이시지 넘버 시비 가들라 디리마 시오리 되게 단다마 시고레스 되게 단다마 되고레스.
So it says, generally speaking, the present instructions are the ones that the Venerable Protector Maitreya gives in his ornament for clear knowledge. And what does it mean is, generally speaking, the root text that Lamp for the Path to Enlightenment was based on is ornament for clear realization, composed by Maitreya. So the content, the main content in this text is it talks about the path of three scopes of beings. So it talks about the practice, or it talks about the path of three scopes of beings. So in the ornament for clear realizations, there are 8 topics, and the first 3 are 3 knowledges. So the first one is knowledge of a basis. The second one is knowledge of path. and the third one is omniscience. So these are the first three topics. So the first one, the knowledge of paths. So this regarding the ornament for clear realizations, when we study one of the topic in the basic program, which is the 4th chapter of ornament for clear realizations, then we will have a detailed explanations when we start that particular topic. So here, when we talk about the knowledge of the basis, so it talks about, it explains the meaning of Four Noble Truths and the 16 aspects of Four Noble Truths. And these contains, or this explains the path of small scope of being, and this explains the path of a medium scope of being as well. So this is how we say that these instructions is the instructions of Maitreya gives in his ornament for clear realization.
다 드니스로와 다 지금 중득이 나한테 이시 넘버 10 가지고 간다 시바 임바 다 간다 디 로와 다 쳔바스 나로 란시의 난치 지 넘버도 저 10이 가라 다 리치 송가게 네티 지리지 란제 지리지 티지 지리지 리치 송가게 란 용서 도바 디가즈 히버스로와 란시의 난치 가서 넘버 10 가서
리치
리치 소서 디자르 샤고로 리치 네티 지리지 란제 지리지 티지 지리지에서 디자르게 시고로와
람시당 남기
다 란시의 난치 10이 값수 다 리치 송가게 란 용서 도바 란 용서 도바 디가서 시와 송자 다 간다 안서 제비 쳔비기 란지 림바데 디니마 된다스마 디니 시오레스 제비 쳔비 란지 림바데 제비 쳔비 란지 림바데 디니마 이시 란시의 남지기 된다 시와 디니마 시와 송자 다가 도지 쟁야 도지 당아레스 된다 시야 된다 도지 당아레스 로게 주지 되레스코
And come to the second knowledge, the knowledge of path, and the third one, omniscience. So it talks about the complete path of three types of beings. So the three types of beings are hero realizers, solitary realizers, and Mahayana. So it talks about the complete path of these three types of beings. So basically, it talks about the stages of the path of great scopes of beings. So the second knowledge, the knowledge of path and the omniscience, it covers the stages of the path of great scopes of beings. So the first three topics, it talks about the path of three scopes of beings. So that is why we say, this is the instructions of ornament for clear realizations.
다디지랑제 노지데 당한데 지지 장거지가 또지 당한 인시 로게데 준세 가르에테 간다 상황 당와이나 다 미요 그 단다서 간데 이나세 란데데 지단 지 응도지 당아레스 라잔두스 이 단다 간디진 로웨르스나 단 리시 제고나 두스제는 인지고여레스 간다로와 지단 가서 응도지 지요레 산지 소미 대바다 지수 지지를 생각서 드니 응도지 나노 지요레 다 시디서다 다 간다 시디서 구에나 다 제랑서 시초로와 다 시디서 뭐 좋아요로와 오다 된다는 게 도도 시제로와 다 쳔바소 히비가라 쳔바시 소 히비가서 다 제부서 이제 도도시나 쳔바소 히비가서 다 제부서 이제 란지 림바데 창차와 쳔바소 히비가서 시야레 대가서마 쳔바소 히비가서 대 랑기 창차와데 대간다 장주 란데기마 두스마 시고 공반데마 시고 에스타와티 디르마 단다도 마시와 송자 다 당아 이 간다 정야도 지 당아 있을 로가 딘세데레스.
So if someone were to ask you, so what is the reason? Why we say ornament for this is the instructions in ornament for clear realization. Why do we say that these instructions is the instructions of ornament for clear realizations? So because as what I mentioned just now, the three types of knowledges or three knowledges, so it talks about the complete stages of the path of three scopes of beings, and these instructions are contained in the Lamrim for the path to enlightenment. So because of this reason, these first three topics, it talks about the complete path complete stages of the path of 3 scopes of beings. That is why we say the instructions is the instructions of ornament for clear realization.
That is what they join the Chandu Lanji, Denze Baboni, and the Babos, that dealer, Najigo Mambo Tabachi were. Denze Baboni, the and the Babo, Denze Babo was the Chandu Lanji demon, Denze Babo was over. Chandu Lanji demon, Denze Babo, the and the Babo, this was the Chandu Landi Lanjuachi. This was Chandu Landi Lanjuachi. Also, this was the Nancy, this was the range of cities. Oh. Then Zebabo needs it. Chanchu Lanji Dema, Zebabo, Deni, and Zebabo de George Bade de Lamrim Digi, Sheba Shay, Manga, and Zebabo de George Bade de yes, Manga Zebabo was Dandaji, Dandanishi, Lamrim Digi, Kang Sheba Shay, Manga de, and Zebabo de George Bade de yes. What did you come with?
And the second sentence, in particular, they are based on Lamb for the path to enlightenment, so that its author is also the author of the present text. So this sentence, so that its author is also the author of the present text. There are many arguments about this, the meaning of this sentence. So when it says, what does it mean by its? So that its author, so its author refers to the the author of Lamb for the Path to Enlightenment, which is Lama Atisha, is also the author of the present text. So present text or this text refers to stages of the path to enlightenment, which is Jangchuk Lamrim. So what does it mean by this statement is, or by this sentence is? So it has 2 meanings. So the first one is the instructions of its author. So the instructions of Lamb for the Path to Enlightenment is also the author of the instructions in the present text. So the meaning is the author of the instructions in Lamb for the Path to Enlightenment, which is Lama Atisha, is also the author of the instructions in the present text.
That is the Rewa Jedanji Dirgazana Roa. Chanju Landi, Chanju Landi Rimbande, Landinde, Turgin Zebabode, Ya George Pade de Harris and the Gurias, Turgin Zebabode. Chanju Landi Kran and Zebapade de Helloman. Chanju Landi D, Turgin Zebabode, George Pade de Harris. Here you love with Junsen Karsana, Chanju Landi Dige, Turgi, Ma, Gumba is a Tawade, Landis has Landis. The laundry sons are that Turgin Zebabode, the George Pade de Harris and the Gurias, and the Dylan Rishi Mabujiver, then Zebaboni, the and Zebabu was a Dilla and Rishi, Sharon Mabushiri. That also tell the Dodo Nila Shai is Denila. That Denila kept a chick, Manchia Dilla, and the Suris Roa. Keep a Manchia Dilla Suris.
So besides the first explanations, interpretations of this sentence, there is another explanations or interpretations in relation to this statement as well. So the actual author of stages of the path to enlightenment is Lama Atisha. So you can also interpret or understand this statement in the second way. So the actual author of stages of the path to enlightenment is Lama Atisha. The reason why is because this text, stages of the path to enlightenment, is based on the root text, Lamb for the Path to Enlightenment. So because of this reason, then we say the actual author of stages of the path to enlightenment is Lama Atisha. So you can also understand or interpret in this way. So there are 2 ways to explain the meaning of this sentence. And this is the common explanations this is the common explanations that most of the scholars keep or how say they understand in this way, or they interpret in this way, or accept such interpretation.
The Kashikilla, then the Bobo in the Bobo, then the Bobo de Lari, then the Bobo, the George Padia de Charis, and the Lonier. That is our in Chawio Maris. Oh, then the Bobo in the Bobo Resa, London the Bobo de Yalarin the Bobo Res and the woman dinner. That is all in the Chawio Maris. Larin the Bobo, de Larin the Bobo de Manso, Jeremo Lama Sungabarua, a date Sungabare, Wata Tenze Boboni, Dinze Bobo said, Dilla Rashid and Mabu Shuris, Children did see the Latona Sungris, Dick Tandala, Mabun Rishik Weris. What that did
Tengi Zebabo and that they love Choverima, though in the
that turns in Zebabo, Demaro, Chandu Lani Denzebo the Jero Mojero, or that Lani Diggy, turns in Zebabo, Georgie Padita, Yadiaris, and the Chidish. And that Chide, Chanchu Lani Diggy, can't ship a shay, Manate, in Zebabo, Georgie Patia Diaris. That Dini also, so todos have Dinis, Dini, that Dini, near Basso Hakovashis.
So some of the people, they understand or they interpret this sentence as the author of Lamp for the Path to Enlightenment is also the author of this present text, the Sages of the Path to Enlightenment. So it would suppose, what it assume is, what they understand is the author of the present text, Sages of the Path to Enlightenment, is Lama Atisha. However, this is not correct interpretations of this sentence. So what the common explanations that most of the scholars accept or assert is what I mentioned just now. The instructions of the present text, the instructions of the author is also the instructions of the present text. So the author of the instructions of A Lamp for the Path to Enlightenment is also the author of the instructions of Stages of the Path to Enlightenment. So this is the first explanations that I mentioned just now. And the second way is the actual author of Stages of the Path to Enlightenment is Lama Atisha. So these are the two explanations that we have to understand.
Takanda George Padia Dishala, the Bakara Shinjanase, Mitsin Digilandua, that Diola, the Bakara Shinjanase, the Bakara Shinjanase, Takanda, Be Mamizi, she said, Masu Pegito to Jubaina, Be Mamizi, she said, the Tandala, Be Mamizi, she lower. That Dirkana, Mishendachi, Atisha, Atisha, Minintua. And the Bakara Shinjana, Be Mamizi, did a Jumit series, George Padia Disha, Radu Shuangin series. The Bakara Shinjana Swade, Roa, the Bakara Shinjana Raju series. Atisha Swade, Amudilatua.
So other than under the name of Great Master Dipankara Sri Gyana, he is also widely known as the Glorious Atisha. So Great Master Dipankara Sri Gyana. So he has two names here. So there are two names here, Great Master Dipankara Sri Gyana. So is the name when Lama Atisha became ordained. So this is his ordained name, so which is called Dipankara Sri Gyana. In Tibetan is Pe Mame Tse Yeshe.
The Atisha Swade, Chanju Yishikanda, says over Resua, that George Be, that's the Dendishu, that Chanju, the two given it so Chanju, Chanju, that Chanju given the George Be. Say to stop Atisha, so Atisha Tanda put the Shuans, Tanda de la Coburis, put the Shuan, Kepa Jata Mambuna, Kepa Cheddar Papa, put the Shuma, or Dindi, a message Kepa Chimusuza, that be Chanju had been said to Atisha say to say Somares, Atisha Cheddar Papa, put the Shuan say, Tanda did it. Painted on Mambuna, Kepa put the Shuan, Kepa put the Shuan.
And the meaning of Atisha. So Atisha is the name given by or granted by Jiang Zhuge. So Jiang Zhuge granted this name to praise Lama Atisha. So when Jiang Zhuge invited Lama Atisha to Tibet, and then Jiang Zhuge granted this name or epithet to Lama Atisha. So what does it mean by Atisha? So Atisha also means excellent. It also means special. So what does it mean is, it is the excellent ones, or it is the special ones among the scholars. So even though there were many scholars during that time, however, Lama Atisha is the special one, and Lama Atisha is the excellent one. So this is what it means by Atisha.
That George Padia Dishala Kanda, Tomama Deli showed the Chanju Pesha, Sibagani, that George Padia Dishala Kanda, Chanju, that Dijapena, Dijan Solapena, Chi, Satsabota, the Sasamo, the big womes, 최 차차고 사상목배 근데 민체부 근데 그거 매서와 개다죠 완서 최 차차고
최 차차고
하장배 차차고 차다오더라 취좀 맞으면 쓰레기 맞으면 차고배
수변다고
나 간수고대 최 차차고배 하장배 땡 차고더니 차차보다 사상목배 사무사 하장배 깔래카 땡 차고서 근데 많이 봐 나서 디자 란디 타소라 디자 온보 란디 타소라 냐네 제 대보지 취지 근데지 쇼지 취지 소로 지에세 근데지 소로 지에세 다 간다 전주의 조지 디쇼로와 나서 최 차차보다 사사보든지 구구메스 근데 구구메 나서 디자 온보 란디 타소라 봐 냐네 제 대보 제시야 근데지 취지 소로시 있으네 대야 소아더니 슈가레 이때서도 대 조지 받는 게 앞에 쉬부 투제니 투제고 쉬부지 들이 시당들 투제고 쉬부지네 내 장주나지들만 제발해서 간다로와 장주나한테 제발해서 다 배나는 제발아 장주나한테
So King Yeshu invited Lama Atisha to Tibet, and Lama Atisha went to Tibet upon his request, and Jiang Zhuge was very happy, and then he requested Lama Atisha to give teachings to the disciples here in Tibet, which is not so spicy. So not so spicy, or it doesn't triggers a lot of heat. And what does it mean is that it is not too profound, it is not too deep in the sense that it's very difficult to understand. So he requested such a teaching from Lama Atisha, which is very easy to practice, is very easy to understand, and very easy to put into practice, that suits the mental dispositions of three types of beings. So the great, or you can understand it as the great scopes of being, the medium scope of being, and the low scope of being. And having pleased with this request, requested by Jiang Zhuge, and Lama Atisha composed Lamp for the Path to Enlightenment in Tibet.
다 최kun지 뭐 대비시 제법이 채워서 다 조지 빠져야 되게 제법이 채워될 다 송시고도 다 간다 조지 빠져야 되게 난다 된 제린 마시고로 제법 채워 다 당부 리피스도 받게와 집이서 리피스도 받된데라 연디 내스데 연디 내는 땜발 샤와 가는 제에메 다디 된다 송시고도 다 최kun지 뭐 대면 제법 조지 빠져야 되게 송고로 다 당부 리피스도 받게와 시나 이들 마시야이서 다들 사지 송도와 저한테 하고 같이 당부 리피스도 받지와 시비 처지나 조지 빠져야 되지 내가 코로나 연대 가르니에메 땡들라 연대 가르 또바 투지를 또바 연대 가르니에메 디시고래 다 또바라 투지 연대네네 땡발라 샤와 가는 제에메 다 내송도와 된다 송.
So it comes to the second sub-outlines, which is Atisha's greatness. So this is the main topics that this root outline talks about. And so there are three sub-outlines. And the first one is how Atisha took birth in an excellent family. The second one is how Atisha obtained his excellent qualities on that basis. And the third one is having obtained them, how Atisha performed deeds for the sake of the teachings. So these are the three, the sub-outlines under these root outlines. So this is what I'm going to talk about. So the first one is how Atisha took birth, and the lineage of the Atisha, and the second one is how Atisha, on this basis, on that particular basis of body, and then obtain those excellent realizations, and the third one is having obtained them, how Atisha performed deeds for the teachings.
조지 빠져야 되게 사자 투사디 시고래 다 샤쇼 사고에서 디레도와 되나 동치 첨부여서 다 간다 되나 간다 보다 신도 자초 양바 다 간다 딘지 제간배 함사에 된도와 보다 신도 양자 세지 잔세체 다 간다 엄마배 게다 첨부서 간다 세지 잔세 딘지 여기서와 제간 다배 딘지 롱지 첨부 배 원타 첨부 슈비인바 다 딘지 이바데 가르스나 내가 자나 동기 잡은 라시 다 딜라베 대당 먹고 싶으시래 그러와 자나 동기스나 자나 샤쇼 잡보다 자나 샤쇼 잡보다 배 하장 빼줘 첨부 원타 첨부 슈지래도 엄마 빼 샤고야 돼 간다 자나 샤슈 잡고 세와디 오말 페나 롱제 왕타 또 쳔보 왕타 쳔보 딘디스나 다 딜라 페샤네 다 조지 빠데디 샤기로와 에 딘디 포동다 제강 so ni nang shi yore yese ko ta kanda ro jana tongki se tongsa de ta jagi ki chere jagi ta ro ndinjo yese ko ta kanda sha se tongse ni sha ren do
So according to the translator's praise, so under this outline, how Atisha took birth in an excellent family. So the text says, according to the translator's praise, due east in the excellent country of Saho lies a great city of great size, namely Vikramanipura. In it meets the royal court, an extremely spacious palace called the one with golden banners. So probably this was a very famous country, and then they will have these golden banners set up, and its pleasure, might, and wealth resemble those of Chinese emperors. So in that country, so the pleasures, the might, possessions, wealth, and etc. So they are similar to those of Chinese emperors. So the Chinese emperors here in Tibetan is called Gyana Tonggyun. So Gyana Tonggyun. So again, there are many explanations about these words, Gyana Tonggyun. So Tonggyun also means the eastern emperors, or the eastern country of Chinese. Sorry, the eastern side of the Chinese emperor. So in the past, so the eastern emperor of China. So they were very, they have great wealth. They have great possessions. They are very mighty as well, and then they have great strength and etc. So take this as an example, the Eastern emperors of China. Take this as an example to resemble that, to explain how wealthy, how mighty this country where Lama Atisha took birth in. So Tonggyun, Tong also similar to our Chinese words, which is Tong. So Eastern emperors of China. Yeah? So East in China, we also call Tong. So it's similar. Is the words. I say the Tong also has the meaning of Eastern as well. Very similar to Chinese.
So Tong is Queen's na chida jabule hesa to kan besilo rendo besilo. Ta Tong Queen's na janas na kada dirwa da kada Tong Queen's na pe jabule pa hesa chine din sa kada chashu jabule pa hesa chine beba. Ta dili logo do. Chida ta diran reda mo shu yores. Ta ngaso keba mongche di jugun da dirwa.
So Kun also has is like an ordinary honorific word to call the king of Eastern Emperor of China. So this is the most common one accepted by the scholars.
다 드리습니다. 다 샤쇼 사고 유대나 유대 다 간다. 저보 게이베레스 들어와. 다 저보 게이베다 지모 보모 이제 지니나. 대 간다 세송 베미니보다 다이니 베지니 모세 세송 요레스. 와.
King of that land is Gayanasri, and his queen is called Sri Prabha. The royal couple has 3 sons.
다 세송나 간다. 베미니보다 간다. 간다 지모 간다 세고 시지 세 치지의 세나베 다디디나 케바첨보 다나시스와 드렌도 다나시스와 드렌도 다 중앙의 베지니 모세 드레 이 간다 게는 뭐야 진다시고 드레 해시고
The 3 sons are Bemakarba, Chandrakaba, and Sri Gaba, they are called. Again, Prince Bemagaba has 5 royal consorts and 9 sons. The oldest one, named Punyasri, is a Mahapandita, widely known as Dhanasri. His youngest brother called Sri Gaba.
다 조지 빠데디게 단다 공도 쉬바 디레도와 안 정부 다이니 뭐 다달라마 지지히세 딜로웨레 디 간다 야 저거 게이페 지모 빠모 이제지니나 베미니 모데 베겐바 다이니 모데 림바 베지니 모데 비총아드레도와 중시 와다 정부 다이니 모세와 다 간다 라마 지지 데 조지 빠데디게 디레스 간다 정부 다이니 모세 라마 디레스 간다 로와 본 정부.
So his youngest brother called Sri Gaba is the Bhikshu via Chandra. The middle one is Chandra Gaba. He is our exalted guru. So his youngest brother called Sri Gaba. So as what I mentioned just now, this King Kaya Nasri has 3 sons: Pema Gaba, Chandra Gaba, and Sri Gaba. So Sri Gaba is the youngest one, and the middle one. So Sri Gaba is a Bhikshu via Chandra, and the middle one, which is Chandra Gaba, so the son of King Kaya Nasri, is our exalted guru, which is Lama Atisha.
Mando chemba lungi yende ne betu tsigi duwa tobi yende ne betu tsina ta lungi yende ne tsida tobi yende ne tsini shebo ta de ruwa lungi yende de nganzo tenda shiwo de lungi yende de ju tobi yende de rebo dus nanji sama ta de dus shebo ruwa lungi yende de kanda ju tobi yende de rebo de logo geje gasna lungi yende de la kesa nani chebal tine tobi yende rebo de rang jula toba cheder ro tobi yende de rang jula toba khoyate lungi yende de la tesanche ju de la tesanche ne rebo tobi yende khoya amo dodo jingese ya de inda ro lungi yende se tenda chi tsigi do tobi yende se tenda de ro.
So then come to the next one. So how Atisha obtained his excellent qualities on that basis. So the qualities here refers to how Atisha obtained the excellent qualities of vast scriptural knowledge. So other translation is how Atisha obtained the scriptural qualities of vast knowledge. And the second one is how Atisha obtained the excellent realizational qualities of its correct accomplishment. So excellent qualities here refers to the scriptural qualities and also the realized or realizational qualities. So scriptural qualities is the cause. So you can understand in this way. Scriptural qualities is the cause and realized quality is the result. So by listening to and contemplating the cause, which is the scriptural qualities, then we develop the result in our mind, which is realization or realized qualities.
Mando jeba lungu Indonesia de shue yirwa da de kanda lungu Indonesia da gono nehi tsaji sunchil nanola da kanda shiro pada nambi ripinyen timwa da da riba tensi riba zo riba so riba se zola kanda jane keba pudo chungwan degane kanda lo nehi tsaji nanola kanda keba zola pe shinag timo ge rini zola pe keba chembo chasa res rwa.
So under this, how Atisha obtained his excellent qualities on that basis, it talks about how Atisha obtained the scriptural qualities and how Atisha obtained the realized qualities. So I'm going to explain the first qualities, which is how Atisha obtained the scriptural qualities of vast knowledge. So first, by the age of 21, having studied the 4 areas of knowledge common to Buddhist and non-Buddhist: language, logical proofs, crafts, and medicine, he was an excellent scholar. So Lama Atisha, by the age of 21, then he became a scholar in the 4 areas of knowledge common to Buddhist and non-Buddhist as well. So these 4 areas of knowledge are language, reasoning, crafts, and medicine. So he became very well versed in these 4 areas of knowledge.
Orwa pe chi tawa chambe kanda riti cha chi sene pe da riti de ngazo pe sema ko tanja rwa pe ta kanda sema ko ripa tanya kanda tenda dire rwa riti cha chi sene te shiro ba to ke kheba tawa chi da so ba res ta digma logic ma shi shwe rwa kanda 시로비 때 개바 첨부지다 간다 도서 normal 배 도서 저바 도서 마모 루시 마모도와 시바다 남바도 저도 배 나서 템바 제츠네 템바 그로 수토바이나 되게 템바를 파 쉬하게 된디기 배 개바 배 시로바서 개바 쉬우도와 개바 마모 쉬지요래 된디선다 된디기 배 저바 저 루시 쉬우도와 오다 된디기 배 저래 다 조지 빠데지 토야게 간다 그 로지죠 다디 마 쉬야 있어와
In particular, the great Cholongba relates how, at the age of 15, having heard drop of reasoning just once, he debated with a non-Buddhist intellectual renowned for his erudition and defeated him, which spread his fame far and wide. So at the age of 15, then Lama Atisha, having heard the text drop of reasoning, so it's a text about valid conditions. So it's a text about valid conditions. Then Lama Atisha heard just once only. Then he able to defeat the great masters of non-Buddhist. Very famous for his knowledge and etc. However, Lama Atisha defeated him. So in the past, there was such a tradition that whoever wins the debate, then they have the loose side have to follow the traditions of the winner side. So like for example, have to take Buddhism. So for example, if Buddhist philosophers win already, then the non-Buddhists have to take Buddhist as their traditions or as their religions. So there are many stories in the past about this. They debate with each other, Buddhist and non-Buddhist. So this is the story, is how Lama Atisha won the debate.
셰바도 로정아 시비지 리지 차지 세베 시로비 도게 개바 다바지다 세베 대 파마데네 니비 잡아 킨도 집어 셰 도롱바 쳔비 송와서 데 도롱게 간다 때리 쳔모나로 송자 누시거데 그러와 도롱은 집이 때리 쳔모나 가서 도롱 게시 가담베 게시 도롱 쳔모서 되게 송저와 우마 제르 뭐지 때리 라리 쳔모 송와 누라 때리 쳔모 mambo 도서 자 에셔 로야 베 mambo 도서 나도와 오데비 베 가담베 라마 베 김바치로와 근데 송자 다 간다 조지 빠디야 디샤게 라마 고랑게 라마데 다 간다 쇼바 케바 쇼 케바지 지다 뜻바 저 간다 저지너와 다 저네 간다 저가라 조지 빠디야 디샤게 라마데 베 케바 쳔보 코 토도지디 코라나지 레비나는 무지 베 무데 라이가라 베 템바 토디아 살마린도야 드니지 요이사레 오다디 조지 빠디야 디샤 라마기 저바츠네 토도지디 또 무드라니 데 조지 빠데디 라마디 마 살라리니 저마토리에서 다 저마토리 에 차마지바 조지 빠데디 코랑 라마가 첩제네 다시로바 케바드다 닌냥도 배 간다 도스 다 리피기 다샤체네 저바레스 리바고토네 다 간다 도스 저바레스 다 저바체오디 데 조지 빠데디 간다 토바레스 조지 빠데디 토디 데 토바데 배 다 간다 년다 쳔모 깨다 쳔모 쉬비 쳐버려 시로바데 개바 쳔모 쉬브레도와 개바 쳔모 쉬고 순다 대배 든디에 배 깨다 쳔모데 다 도름바게 배 대리 쳔모나 도서 송자 도스네 간다 로와 빈지 빠디히 도서 송자래 빈지 빠디히 로와 빈지 빠디히 도서 송다 도름게 대리 쳔모나 도서 송야래세
Oh, that's it. Yeah. So having heard the drop of reasoning just once, so the great Cholongba relates how at the age of 15, having heard drop of reasoning just once. So great Cholongba, so is the elder Geshes of elder Katamba Geshes, and he composed the great text of Tenrim Chenmo. So he composed the great text of Tenrim, and Lama Tsongkhapa at the beginning of this text, then he refers to the text of Cholongba many times as well. So he refers very much because he refers to Tenrim Chenmo composed by Cholongba at the beginning of the text. And Lama Atisha, in this debate, so Lama Atisha together with his Lama debated with one of the great scholars of non-Buddhist, and Lama Atisha's Lama was very famous as well and a great scholar as well. So, however, when he debated with these great scholars of non-Buddhist, so when he was about to win, then because of there was worms in the mind, in the brain of the Lama of Lama Atisha. So because of the worm in the brain of the Lama, then he lost conscious. So he lost his consciousness and fell on the ground. And Lama Atisha replaced his Lama and continued to debate with the great scholars of non-Buddhists. And at the end, Lama Atisha won the debate. And because of the great scholars of non-Buddhists was very famous, and Lama Atisha defeated such famous great scholars, then Lama Atisha become very famous as well. So this is mentioned by Penjen Pedin Yeshe, and Trolungba mentioned it in his text, Tenrim Chenmo.
Tadigi Jila Ganda Dini Dua, that Doji me, Rena Bitula can Nanjo Wash Doji Shazini, that Doji Kando make long Devanashi, Lama Rahola Kanda, Gobata, you wants to buy Shubri Esne, those Kanda, the Lumdetus Nandua. That the Dishine Kanda, the science and also the Shua Sanga, Misaki Sanse, Sani He, He, Sami Doji, Sansi He, Sami Doji, so those say Pindua, and say Pin, Takanda, Guno Nishagu, Sinchela Kanda, Nuduni, Lama Mambo, Sama Doji Tivala Kanda, one Manga, Mambo Shibishua.
Then he requested a complete empowerment from the glorious master yogi of the main temple on Black Mountain, the Guru Rahula Gupta, who had received direct visions of Vajra and a prophecy from Vajra Dakini. So Guru Rahula Gupta is someone who had received direct visions of Vajra and a prophecy from Vajra Dakini, and he was given the secret name Gyana Guya Vajra. So this is the secret name of Lama Atisha, Gyana Guya Vajra. So after the age of 29, so he studied the Vajra vehicle under numerous highly realized gurus and thereby became knowledgeable in all texts and instructions.
Tadigi Jela Ganda, Tape Sanga, Tape Show, Kanda, one Manga, Lojun Shibi number is Rua, Sangala. That day, Sangala de Nani, that Sangala, Nani Keso Nando, Gumbashona, Tape, Tujet is Chiba is Rua, that Sangala Pena. Lojun Mambu Chigala, Tabe, the Dinosi, Sangala Nani, Keso Nambe, Gumbashunase, Gumbashuna Dindua, that the Yundama Logicia is Rua, that Sangala Pen, Kebashabi Johnson, Tula Kantatusi Jumba Resego.
So when I thought only I am knowledgeable in secret mantra occurred to him. So Lama Atisha has studied greatly in the instructions, Tantra instructions, and he received the empowerments as well. So at one time, then he developed pride, thinking, I am knowledgeable in secret mantra. So there is a story about this sentence also.
The Sangala Nani Kesu na the bed, Gumba Shina, Tenda Karesna, Nujila. Nilado Karish was now painted on Mark one shoes now, the Kebachibu Shubidua, painted on Mark one shoe, painted on Mark one shoes in a Kebachibu Shubidresha, Kebachibu Della, Nilano Lakanda, G. Bunta Chida, Akanda Direndua, Bunta Chida, Shijangachanga, Jim Bunta Chida, Shijangachanga, same as Nilano, painted on Mark Washla, Nilano, Bunta Chida, Shijangachanga. Hijangachanga same Pareso. The Nilan the painted and Magwashula.
Bandita, you want to Nilam Namola?
Oh, painted the Magwashi Shenjavares. Nilan painted the Magwashi Shenjavares. Or Shenjavari. Shenjibicala, that painted the Magwashu, they chew the number Esco. Nilan, Lamadilla, G. Kanda, Bunta Chida, Shijangachanga. That does none, that Georgie, Atia to say, Jim Mudajida, Shijangachanga say, Sene, Nia Seudi, Nia Sebada, Siki Dan Sama Majiba Senape Tang de Wores Kanda. Danda Samape Jet Magia Maresevo. Nilan Bina, Tape, Jupe Sanga, Tendigipe, Mambo Jachimboji, and now the near Sevicala, Chana Pe Tula Tomba Reservoir. Chanza Chida, Chanza Pe Tula today, or that into the Tangane, that's Sanga Term Malipa, Tangi Hakosaja, that Ni Mashiba Paji, Sanga Chim Mundusane, Takanda, this Tuja, Najana with this Jeva Reservoir, Tuja Jeva Reservoir, but that Tuja Chia, Tanda Dire, Tuja Chia. 다 공도 빼나 라마라오나 소발라 빼 왕mambo 시자로와 왕mam보 상아 왕루 mambo 지쇼 mambo 시바 마체 로주 mambo 지네 담 야부 시바레 데 시바 마체 다 제라 벤데당 나고 와신 니나는 자니 다 딜라 빼 지페 몽자지다 시장 같이 강가 세우데 니야 세디 단 참아베 투라 주네 치라 단가 마지바 다가로 빼 투란 투데레스 벤두데 오 당문에 단에 상가라가 케샤 케바레드 상 데 투라 투자 투스 제발 해서 간다.
So 거기 민도사. So 간다.
저기 hit체 저 kitchen.
Oh, that's so Lama Atisha received empowerments from glorious Master Yogi, so from the Guru Rahula Guptas, and then he received many empowerments, and then he studied under the guidance of Guru Rahula Gupta as well, and then he understood the meaning of those those tantric those meaning in relation to Tantra as well. So at one time, then in Lama Atisha in his dream, then he dreamed of Pandita Ngagi Wangchu. Pandita Ngagi Wangchu, he had a visions in his dream of Pandita Ngagi Wangchu, so which was a great scholars as well. And then in the dream, then Lama Atisha received the tantric teachings. So 100,455. So 100,455 tantric teachings from Pandita Ngagi Wangchu. So Pandita Ngagi Wangchu gave tantric teachings to Lama Atisha in his dream. So Lama Atisha, having listened to the teachings in his dream, and when he awoke, and then he remembered all the words of the teachings, and he understand the meanings of those teachings as well, and he did not forget it when he awoke, and he remembered all of those words and meanings of the Tantra teachings. And then because of this, then he developed, he had pride, he developed pride in his mind, thinking that only I am knowledgeable in secret Tantra, the secret mantra.
다 조지 간다. 바디에 디샤 간다. 투자 제사도 두서래. 다 두서 나제 투자 디스 제오데 다 ndag만나지. 다 나지 레바. 나 토마노 mambo마 나랑 띠니. 투자 자와레스 거. 로아 ndag만나지. 다 나서 나그 지 강가데 베 칸도만나지. 베 라는 도와 망치야. 칸도만나지. 어다 마틴다도 두시와이. 다 간다 투자도 마 자야기. 다 칸도만나지. Ndagumanaji Kandarua, that much Lema, Georgie Pade Noma, Jim Manumatandi, Mamboma, Tiange, Lugis.
So both, and when the thought, only I am knowledgeable in secret mantra occurred to him, Dakinis pointed out to him in a dream several volumes of mantra he had not seen before that lowered his pride. So when Lama Atisha developed such pride, and then in his dream, then Dakinis showed him many volumes of mantra that Lama Atisha had not seen before. So most of the mantra or tantric teachings are kept by Dakini. So Dakini showed Lama Atisha many volumes of tantra that Lama Atisha had never seen before, and having seen such in his dream, then it lowered his pride. So again, there is a story about it.
ndingi nankala barwa ndingi nankala khatu nilana ma ta nga chi lewan mambu zijanji mambu ba zinirwa ta joji bade ji kicha matine jinde cheji hesang ma tibarese be nga chi lewan mambu be ndingi nankala pa zine ta lewan mambu zine de khando manaji adhiyala de changage 통누에 저런 이제 누에서 마치 두디 레바 mambo 두디 다 조지 받아야 되게 센자야 퇴만는 게 그럼 자원이 그 퇴만는 장자 퇴만는 장자 어디서 참아봐 자원이 퇴만는 장자래 돼 당가지 레바 mambo 지시 에 저 지시에서 다 조지 받아야 되게 자원이 퇴만는 게 장자 다 나그 레바 mambo 지네 로스 된다 춘주지 지네 이게 춘주지 지네 저런 게 해야 돼 일이다시 다 저놈이 해야 돼 일이스 다들 장담의 저 기분도 왔어 로스 춘주지 나지 레바 춘주지 지네 근데 저놈이 해야 돼 일이도 왔어 무슨 말이에요
So, so in his dream, then Dakini showed him many volumes of tantra in the sky. So those Dakinis, they stacked the volumes of tantra in the sky or in the space, and then showed Lama Atisha. So and showed to Lama Atisha and asked Lama Atisha. So have you seen this volume of tantra before, or volume of mantra before? So he asked Lama Atisha many volumes of mantra, and Lama Atisha couldn't reply, yes, that I have seen such volume of mantra before. So most of those texts, Lama Atisha had not seen before. Then after repeatedly asked Lama Atisha these questions, then again Dakini stacked another a small, only few volumes of mantra another side, and told Lama Atisha. So these are the texts that you have seen before. So beside this are those texts that you have never seen before.
That is George Bade de Hege, that is Kanda Tomanu Janja Chowdi, that Juji Drumaki to my George Ma, to the Juji Drumaki. Churanga, G here de Mayunala, and the Tagu put Semosanshi, Tagu Pui, Semosan, the Gazi John Shemares, Mayunala, Mangaji, Lebon, Manchia, Chanton, Kandomagalad Yoris. Kandomagalad Yoris. Mayunala, Tagu Pui Zetanji, Mother Yomare, did John hear the days. This one, the George Bade de Hege, or Mayunala, not Kepangara, and do some, and to just be Chanzo Macha to this one. Mayunala, not Kepa into us. That no much a Kandomalavan and do, Mayunala, not Kepa, into us and to just shiver is what they
Yeah, and then in his dream, then Venerable Tara, then he said to Lama Atisha, so what the volumes of tantra that you have seen before is equal to the tip of hair of a horse. So the tip of hair of a horse. So a strand of horse hair, and then the tip of it is those texts, those volumes of texts of tantra that you have seen before in the human realms. So and most of the tantra volumes of tantra scriptures are kept in the hands of Dakini. So even though Tara said this to Lama Atisha already, however, Lama Atisha still think to himself that so in the human realms, I am knowledgeable in secret tantra. So his pride are not totally diminished.
That in this one, that and that, Adia Kanda, Tujama, Shavares, Kandomana, much labor to Manova. That Mayuna Pe, Nara, Kepare, to the Jodi, that she's a George Bade de Pearl Pevaris Roa, Pearl Pegala, and science that they suggest much made or science of Hasa Angel Roa, science of the science, Hasa Tanya Bujroa. Science Dilla, much labor to Sape, Takanda, Tulaka message in Roa, Lebanon shoes at the dish. That dinner change Jackin Dochi Jewdi, that dinner pay George Bade de Chevin, Jim Manu, Mamuchu Doa. Not solid in Jim Manu Mongo. Meet and from Comani with the Ripe, much lemon sugaration. Tell you Tanga to Supe, Hobby, the Dulasabagi, the Sogi, Loyal, Hayama Demuyagi, that not Levante, Mabush, Tatuya Meju Isari, and when it's in all Levante, Len Habuji, Raymond, Tatuya Meju, Shoji, they be Tula, this tumor is away.
Leventan, Louis.
Loving Bay, Hayata Loyalma, downtown, that the big Mambo is a race. Hayne, Loyal downtown, that science is Sulaka General, and not Leva Mambo, Tomana, the Mambo Jodi, that Muyun Radi, that Muyun, or that minute, Loving Bay, Hayne, Madame, that Loyal, then that the big Bay, Mark Bay, Levante, Bangwen is a mark, so the Tatuba, and Tommy Pape, should be young inside that Petula is too much away. That Muyun not the day, Mambo, Gemano, Tonsadi, that bet to Japan, Corchasa is a
So even though he dreamed of Dakini in his, he dreamed of Dakini, so he lowered his pride. However, his pride are not totally diminished. Then again, Lama Atisha went to Tibet, and then he went to a place called Sangyin. So it's a place near Lhasa, Sangyin, and this Sangyin is a place where it hosts many Tantra scriptures. And again, when Lama Atisha went to visit this place where it hosts many scriptures of Tantra, again, he realized that how many volumes of Tantra texts that he had not seen before. So don't mention that as he had read those texts. So even the title of the text that he had not heard before also. So don't mention about the volumes of Tantra texts in the human realms that many he had not seen before. So even those texts, invited from the Naga realms and the God realms. So many. So the texts, the Tantric scriptures are many and immeasurables. And thinking of such of this experience, then his pride was totally diminished.
That took Takanda, Rakubana, Levanga, Tomano, Mambonyala, Tuja Chago, that Tuja Chad to Chirua, that Tuja Chad, and Jack Tanda Tuja Kandiji Chawares, and Tangazonaji Tuja Chad, attended Shigua, that Rakumanaji, Levan Tomanuba, in the Tuja Chayachida, de Perno sign of the Marti Levan Tomanuge, Mambo Tony, Takanda Mayune, the case on the Tindiki Tuja Chayachida. That Tuja Chia that you come to Shimba, so they and the Lama Rahola Bay, and now the Bay, Jibe, Roa, Tendi, Ram Bundrachida, Shija Machima, to the Senate, Takanda, Tuja Chia to Shiba Roa, or so dear Chivares, but that Tuja Chedan to Chi, that Tuja Chinema, Tuja Chadan to Chi, that and the Dodo Dinida, the Museum, Tuja Kanichi Chivares, Chedan the Lama Rahola in its old Chiva Imba, oh, Chesene. That Tuja Machada, and Dagumanachi, Leva Tomanu, the meeting Matuja Chada, up per the Sana, and Zulakona, Leva Tomanu, and Gemanu, Mambo, take on the Tuja Chaya. That Duschini, dear Dodo Duschua.
So in these paragraphs, it talks about how Lama Atisha developed pride and how Lama Atisha pride was diminished by his encounters with the Dakini in his dream and his encounters his experience when he went to Sangyin in Tibet. So how he developed pride is what I mentioned just now. So he received empowerments and many tantric, many teachings from Rahula Guptas, and then he had a dream. So this is how he developed pride, and how his pride was diminished was he dreamed of Dakini, and then those Dakinis showed him many volumes of tantric texts that Lama Atisha had not seen before. So this has already lowered his pride. And later, when Lama Atisha went to Tibet, a place called Sangyin, and again he realized that many of those texts, even in the human realms, that he had not seen before. So, and because of this experience, then his pride was totally diminished.
답에 나라도 비나 라도 중앙에 하다 라마 mambo지 답에 땅치마 mam보 시비 용사지 여러와 다들 사마시마 그바치 간다 시스템으로 들어와 다 간다 년라도 비나 땅에 빠도 라도 중바이나 다 템발라 샤와자 첨번제 도바다 답에나 시비지 산지 때만 진족 배설라 배 시비지 용우여 답에 mam보지 농대여래 농대나네 단 타말 땅아라 라도 마시나 자원인 지금 문도 사네 대배 조지 바이데 타치니 내가 라도 중화레스 라도 중에 간다 캠보 엔디로와 라마라치다 로와 라마라치다 배 캠본제네 내가 세라페 배 마미지 히스다 간다 디 세소바로와 세네 간다 디 소바로와 ndabakara hinjana tsruwa o pe mameji hisin senta warwa ta pe mameji hisin tanda de sanskrit de ndabakara hinjana tsrenwa odade ta raju mitse ta kunji shuyimba oda kanda lama rachde pe rad shuni de kembonjene de kanda tsete so bare sruwa pe mameji hise usen senta bares.
And then in his dreams and directly, then many gurus and meditational deities and told Lama Atisha and encouraged Lama Atisha, if you were to become ordained, then you will bring great benefits to the teachings. So you will bring, by the means of upholding the Buddha's teachings and preserving the Buddha's teachings and spread the Buddha's teachings. And so this happened many times to Lama Atisha. Many gurus and many meditational deities, they said this to Lama Atisha, encouraged him so. And Lama Atisha thought to himself that, since they have, as I mentioned many times, and then it would bring great benefits to the teachings. So Lama Atisha decided to become ordained. So he became ordained under the guidance of, he took ordination vows with Khenpo Silarashita. So Silarashita is also a great upholders of the Vinayas vows as well. And then after he became ordained, then he got the name Sri Dipankara Gyana.
리비다 대바고 사마드로와 다 대바고 강가기 변에 쇼나 네 정반전에 때 간다 개바 포지션바 두스 차버리세요 로와 나리비 데네 강가기 대바고게 다 간다 도만니가 그 파신 대바라 간다 티바치고라 간다 상하다 파신 노니시오와 어다 데니가라 담비 개바 포지션 대자이 제가뭐 저다 오마르서 때다 제가 현재 제모세 라마 rachita pena utinda purela kana lojoni sendwa lojoni pe cheshine sendwa oda diso sai deje jeramo sai deje pe deba tanji chida jeramo la deba choji ro deba choji da diso diba ina sai deje nano kana diworwa sai deje oda diso pe jane da pe teba kongi pe shung kangal pe danda samo pe kondo tula chiba reso kanda danda samo tula chine ro And at
the up to the age of 31, then he studied lower and upper baskets of inner knowledge of the philosophical vehicles, and in particular for 12 years, the great detailed explanations under Guru Dhammarajita in Otantapuri. So Lama Atisha studied the great detailed explanations under the guidance of Guru Dhammarajita in Otantapuri for 12 years. And he became very well versed in the scriptures of the four original traditions. So he became well versed in Sutra, in Tantra, and in Mahayana, in general, and in particular Paramitayana and Mantrayana. So he became very well versed in all the teachings of these particular vehicles. And then he was very well versed in the scriptures of the four original traditions. So the school of great detailed explanations, so the school of great detailed explanations, there are 18 sub-schools. So in general what we call a great detailed explanation of Chedamawa, and he was very well versed in the scriptures of four original traditions later. Then he had infallible grasp of the tiniest details in the teachings.
다 간다 도도데 대바 타 대바는지 신경라서 발랑도지 차 정문나 만데바 다 된다 도도는 간소 연대니 비슷해 대바베 제다모 이나나 노대바 이나나 센자바 맞지나 준다모 시시고로와 우마바다 간다 센자바다 제다모 노대바 시시고로와 어다디 간다 준타 소소게 인데스 간디요메 창자 지마지기 간다 툴을 치버레서와 툴라 치네 대바 탄치집에 람도 니 간디지나 창자베 툴을 치버레서.
So the upper and lower baskets of inner knowledge of the philosophical vehicles. So it refers to the four schools of tenets. So the four schools of tenets are Vaibhashika, the school of Sutra, and the school of mind only, and the last one is middle way school. So he became well versed in all these philosophical schools, and he understand the assertions of each school as it is. So he understood fully the assertions of each philosophical school about the object of abandonment and the object of adoption. So since he fully understood it, and he became a great scholar.
간다 단단한 사지 가르치자 마운드 쳔바 롱기 인데니비 추어제 디시고 가서 마운드 쳔바 인데니비 추들라 마운드 쳔바 롱기 인데 롱기 인데니스라 다 추지도바 또비 인데니스 시에 말와 간다 가서 시에 말와 다 마운드 쳔바 롱기 인데니스어데 롱들라 롱 데네송세 롱 데네송다 도디데네 웨비데네 송스시오 로와 다롱 간디지나 데스나 만디바 추니요 말에 롱 간디지나 데니스노 만디바 싸워니네 요마리 다 메와선다 다 단다 도도도 체거나 데니스송국에 제주게 단 란도지 차타모 간디나 창서 정말 지기 툴은 취바데 툴은 취바데 다 망건 좀 롱이 인데네 세들다 망건 좀 롱이 인데네 바데 롱 망건 쳔바세 롱 데니스지 제자가 단 말리바 간디 땡으면 참아 란도지 차 간디나 참아 툴은 쳔바 참아 툴은 쳔바 순자 다 롱이 인데니스 데르다 맞아 롱이 인데니스 양다데 롱 데니스고 제지고 된 참아 제따와기도 만 란도지 참 만데바 툴은 쳔바 툴은 쳔바데 다 만도 쳔바 롱이 인데니 바레 해세 된다듯이.
So so how Atisha obtained the excellent scriptural qualities of vast knowledge. So I haven't talked about the second divisions, the realized qualities. I only talk about the first one, the scriptural qualities of vast knowledge. So what the G's or the key points under these divisions is how Lama Atisha, having studied greatly and obtained the scriptural qualities. And the scriptural qualities or that scriptural qualities or scriptures can be divided into three. So the three baskets of teachings. So the scriptural or scriptures refers to the three baskets of teachings. Its content talks about the object of abandonment and the objects of adoptions. So the three baskets of teachings are Vinaya, Sutra, and Abhidharma. So morality, Sutra, and manifest knowledge. So all scriptures can be condensed or grouped into these three baskets of teachings. So there is no scriptures cannot be grouped in these three baskets of teaching. So basically all scriptures can be grouped into these three baskets of teachings. And Lama Atisha, having studied greatly in three baskets of teachings, then he developed scriptural qualities. So this is what I have just explained.
당연히 모든 집에 롱이 있는 년수대 롱이 있는 내당 관리를 다 두스 놓고다 롱이 있는 년수대 롱이 있는 관리 년수는 롱 되는 순간 지지기 있는데 말이바 콘도 치바 롱 되는 순 제자가 되는데 제지기 되는데 랑도지니 관리지나 때 만제바 제따와기도 콘도 치바 성자 다 롱이 있는 내 말이에서 된다 도도듯이 당연히 도도를 쓰면 보라 신나네 도도지 보러와.
So the gist or the key points under these divisions is, so how Lama Atisha obtained the scriptural qualities. So Lama Atisha understand all the meaning of all content, which is object of abandonment and the object of adoptions mentioned in the 3 baskets of teachings. So having understood the meaning mentioned in 3 baskets of teachings, then he developed scriptural qualities. So this is the key point or the gist that you keep in your mind in relation to this division.
Sanji the Chanju Simba Tandila Chanza laws, Chebaji and Shunde, they can do dine la Shandu. So Shandu dine. Pavan Jambi Unijabala Chanza laws, then the Chebaji and Shunde, that can be dinner to say. That is to each and is a Chabaroya Samarua, to each and to say Sarua. Or that day,
Pavan Jambi or somebody, remember.
Oh, Pavan Jambi Chanza, maybe dinner. Or that Denis also, Chidange, Denis of Zindanavo, to.
So regarding these 3 baskets of teachings, so in general, how we recognize or how we recognize a text belongs to which baskets of teachings. So in general, we can pay attention to the homage. So by its homage, then we can generally group, generally understand this text belongs to which baskets of teachings. So as I mentioned just now, 3 baskets of teachings are Vinaya, Sutra, and Abhidharma. So the first one, the Vinaya baskets of teachings. So those texts belongs to these Vinaya baskets of teachings. So the homage is paid to the omniscient one. So I pay homage to the omniscient one. So if you see this homage at the beginning of the text, then this generally grouped under the Vinaya baskets of teachings. So if the homage is paid to Buddha and Bodhisattvas, then that particular text is generally grouped under the Sutra baskets of teachings. And if the homage is paid to the Arya Manjushri, and then this text is generally grouped under the Abhidharma baskets of teachings.
That in this also, do you didn't say what so also Jeja de Kanda Trinji Lava de Shewa, Lava Son Shewa. Do you didn't take Jeja so de Trinji Lava de Shewa? That do you didn't Jeja de so Tingi Lava de Shewa, or Tingi Lava de Shewa. That maybe didn't Jeja de Sher de Lava de Jeja so to Shewa.
So the 3 baskets of teachings, the main content discussed in those scriptures is related to 3 trainings. So the main content discussed in Vinaya baskets of teachings is training of morality, and the main topic discussed in Sutra baskets of teachings is concentration, and the main topic discussed in Abhidharma baskets of teachings is training of wisdom.
Do you didn't Tanji Chimbala Cheva Jegwade? Do you didn't also do you know us what also Sanji Jeting of Jirua Jeting, Rua, Jeting Sunza, then this Jeting Gita, Dabute, Takanda, Sanji Jonde de Sunza, the Cheba Jeda, so Sanji Jonde de Cheba Jeva, yes, or Tanji Chimbal. Takanda, no did in the Sanji the Chajusima Tangela Cheba Jegwade, Juse Gasana, this Jegwade so on over this. Takanda, Tingin Jipe, Rua. Tingin Jipe, Yundi de la Pe, Tusan Jachemo, Hinyani, Cheba Pudushua, Nete Darandale, Chedo Papa, the Sanji the Chanjusimba de Sunza, that is all to Cheba Cheba, yes, or Rua. Tingin Gonanela, Tingin Jibum Yanetela, and that Saint Jibatela, that Nete Darandale Tane, Chedo Papa, the Sunza, the Sanji Chanjusimba Sunza, the Sanji Chanjusimba Cheba Jeva, yes. 와
건다 에네디 띵엔진 곰냠린
곰냠린
셈센시 바
네티다 랑자라 배 체도 봐봐
음
체도 봐봐 상지의 정치선 봐 고수 차데레스
에치도 봐봐
체도 봐봐 상지의 정치선 봐서
음
네티 랑자할 때는 배 띵엔지 곰냠린 배 간다 세 땡을 배 체도 봐봐지 차도 순사 네 상지 정치선 봐로 쳐봐지 버레스 다 maybe 야비를 쳐봐지보다 maybe 또 제자들 다 간다 싫어질 라바 차도 그러와 싫어질 라바 차디 대 싫어질 하데 지진 잠비야 순사 대 지진 잠비야 쳐봐지 버레스
건다 기실라 니버디 도데 정주셈 상계다
도디
정주셈 바다
도디 되는 되게 제자 쪽으로 띵엔지
띵엔지
라바 다 띵엔지 라바데 띵엔지 집에 센세 집에 될라 배 냐리 두바 냐리다 네테다 랑자레 배 체도 봐봐 상지의 정치선 받을 차고
나소
내 손자 내 상지 정치선 받을 간다 쳐봐지 버리스
나소 So what is the reason why what is the main reason why we pay attention we pay homage to different objects in different baskets of teachings. Like for example, in Vinaya baskets of teachings, homage is paid to the omniscience one. So the omniscience one refers to Buddha, and because the main topic discussed in the Vinaya baskets of teachings is about rules, is about prescribed rules or the prescribed vows prescribed by Buddha. So that is why the homage is paid to Buddha. So because those rules, it talks about vows, it talks about morality, it talks about vows, it talks about rules. Since those vows and rules is prescribed by Buddha, therefore homage is paid to Buddha. And the second one is Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the Sutra basket of teachings, homage is mainly paid to Buddha and Bodhisattvas because the main topic discussed in Sutra baskets of teachings is about concentration, and compared to solitary realizers and hero realizers who single-pointedly focus on the concentration practice. So compared to them, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are more excellent. So since they are more excellent than solitary realizers and hero realizers in such practice, therefore Buddha's homage is paid to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And the third one is in Abhidhamma baskets of teachings, the homage is paid to Manjushri. And since the main topic discussed in Abhidhamma baskets of teachings is about wisdom, and since Manjushri is the deity of wisdom, therefore homage is paid to Manjushri. Sorry, I'm going to stop here, and sorry, I don't have much time left for question and answers. So now we start question and answer. If you have any questions, you can unmute yourself, or you can type in the message.
Hello.
Yes.
About the 3 trainings.
Yes. Hello. Hello.
Can
yes.
Big Pin here.
Yes.
We are waiting for Kwa to come back. Maybe the previous teaching, there's this question about Arya, the Buddha and Bodhisattva. Maybe it just clarified that Arya Bodhisattva and Arya Buddha.
Yeah, ini di kasa papa changsim da ini di sangki changsim ini di nongtu shoin ba ini tanda ni sudah tangis ini di tanda ni sewa labna ini tanda inji to ni lagi inji so. So last week then I mentioned has it wrongly about there are 2 types of bodhisattvas. So I said the first one is ordinary bodhisattvas, and the second one I mistakenly said Buddha bodhisattvas. So it's not Buddha bodhisattvas, it is Arya bodhisattvas.
Yep. So my question now, Ken?
Yes.
My question is where does Tantra fit in into the 3 baskets?
Oh, okay.
Buddha Sutra and Abhidharma, because that refers basically to ethics, concentration, and wisdom. So how does Tantra fix in?
Ngagi ngagi确定说安点摆呢，因为这喇叭送人了抗溶剂kata抗剂了，因为这多句有的啥，
但喇叭送人만들면 완전 춘이 요 말했고.
因为这ngagi确呢喇叭送抗剂了，这多句有的，这汤不这多句多了，
제가 창난을 요구했어.
차잠라
창난을 요구했고. nga ko jeja manda yoro ta nga na nga so tsring songjare ro shero songjare ro di tingin ji laba songjare ye sunga yoresko
na so sunga nang la du
sunga yoresko nga na sunga di yoresko nga na nga so sunga shero
na so
ji laba shibore tingin ji laba shi kel laba shiboresko
na so the tantra teachings are how say grouped under three trainings, three baskets of teachings. So the reason is because there are many, in the Tantra teachings, then it talks about, there are many different topics as well. So there are topics talks about morality, and in the Tantra teachings, there are topics talks about concentration, and there are topics talks about wisdom. So therefore, Tantra scriptures are grouped under three baskets of teachings. So all three baskets of teachings.
저런 거 좋아서 배 야본도스 먼저 nga na shi wi 저런 배 샤바이나 셔르디 라바스 배 샤바이나 nga so ndo na la 셔르디 라바 shi gore nga na 셔르디 라바 shi gore 다 셔르디 라바 코라 간다 로 코라 셔르디 라바 코라 ngola sela 차라다 제발마도 단다 네가 셔르디 라바 네가 이거 너네 시 셔르디 라바도 너네 시비 등에 오니도 비셔라데 셔르디 라바 임바시 나네 시비 오니도 비셔라데 셔르디 라바 임바시 다 권한이가게 뭐라 잘하려고 했어 뭐라 잘하려고 했어 근데 저런 거 좋아서 배 야고 두스게
yeah
내가 집발에서 가서 스리 라바다 등에 라바 셔라 내가 집발에서 잘하 쳐버리고 그랬어
Yeah, so it's a very good question because so when we come to this, when we talk about this, whether Tantra scriptures group under which baskets of teachings or a group under which trainings. So since, like for example, take training in wisdom for an example. So in Sutra, it talks about training of wisdom, and in Tantra, it talks about training of wisdom as well. So they differ in terms of the degree of the nature. So they differ in terms of the degree of the natures. So this applies to the rest of the trainings as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ken, can I ask a question?
Yes.
This is Hui. In the second last paragraph, it says that as he was very well versed in the scriptures of the four original traditions. So these four original traditions, is that referring to the four schools as in tenets, or is it the four traditions as in Gelug, Sakya, Kagyu, etc.? What does these four original traditions refer to?
So thank you. Tawate shi sa de ni ti tutoma wa shi de segi yo na ni pena cha na senza ma chi da ma wa na.
Zai di chi da ma zai di shi de se. De shi tang ji yo ba ma wa.
Ye chi da ma wa ge za wa de shi.
Chi da ma zai di shi de se, zai di shi. Chi da ma zai di shi de ma de lo ju chi ya de, chi da la ma da ma ra chi da la wa. La ma da ma ra chi da la pe chi da ma wa pe kan da shung kan ga pe lo ju ji ni lo ju ni di jang do wa. Di zai di shi de, zai di shi de ba chang sa da jang go ro wa. zai di shi 시당지 여바 뭐 배치 대바 내디 대바 망구이 대바세 대시드레스
당부티 시 여바 시탐지 여바 마와라
시당지 여바 뭐와
배치바
배치 대바
배치 대바
망구이 대바
망구
내디 대바
내디 대바
어디시
yeah so these four original traditions. So four original traditions is the four original traditions of great detailed explanation, which is Vaibhashika. And these four original traditions refers to in Sanskrit. Yeah. So the first one is the proponent of all existence. So in English, it's the proponents of all, the school of proponents of all existence. And the second one is what I remember is in Sanskrit, which is Mahasamgika. And the third one is the elder, or called Stavira. The fourth one is called Samitya. So the first one is the proponents of all, the proponents of all true existence. The second one is Mahasamgika. The third one is Stavira. And the fourth one is Samitya. So this, so Lama Atisha spent 12 years study these four original traditions of great detailed explanations under the guidance of Guru Dhammarashita in Otantapuri. So if we were to expand these four original traditions, then it would become 18 sub-schools of great detailed explanations of Vaibhashika.
I see. Okay, thank you very much.
So Ken in Pin here, following up that, does Atisha holds the view of Vaibhashika since he studied very in detail of this great exposition of particulars of Mahavibhasha, which is not translated in Tibetan until today, it seems. Yeah. So the Vaibhashika, does he hold Vaibhashika views among the four tenets?
Lama Atisha chidama we tawa zingi yonas.
Chidama tawan zizi tindike chake marisko. That debat sama jingazo jang shiba cheburwa. And the tawan zike marisko rwa. Lama Atisha tawa tul shiba ina dirwa. Teaching tawarwa. Lama Selimba chidanga tawan formation tesi kuma kundu shiba. Lama Selimba tiare. Lama Selimba taware. Ngazo Atisha tawani chiba chembu jugurwa.
So, so even though he studied the great detailed explanations or Vaibhashikas, however, it doesn't mean that Lama Atisha hold the view of Vaibhashikas, and instead he hold the view of the highest view, which is Prasangika Madhyamika or Madhyamika's school of thoughts. So compared to Lama Selingpa, from whom he received the blessings of Bodhicitta, then Lama Selingpa hold the views lower than Lama Atisha.
Thank you. A good question.
Kila, the other day I heard Gyalwa Rinpoche, Holiness Dalai Lama, said that it's actually very useful to hold different views. For example, in Chittamatra, then you have the view of things, everything happens in the mind, so that you can release your attachment to true existence. Then of course, Prasangika comes into play to assert that there are no inherent existence, that everything is dependent arising. So in other words, what I understand is that it is useful to hold different views at different times, perhaps, just to enhance one's practices.
Kung sa chu ina yang su chu nang lo la ten le sung baris nga chu tawa na cho jin na ne de be ju chen bu yo re sa be na cha sha na ni nga chu sim jam ba gi tawa de jing gi yo na ni nga chu sim gi do dang da bo ni de ha go ba che ni den ju la ni de cha cha sim ki gi maris cha ba ki gi maris den de 세상에 딩게 지나야 디 따와 나초 지나 양 강속이 냠lên là 가서 야기다기 치도 야기다기 펜도 요바치스 데리나스
제제 데가 좀 나리는 말 리그레스로 제 리그레스 공사주 손에 데레스 데바 용조 따와데 심바 쳐버레스 데바 심바 쳐버레스고 데바 용조 데바 감각이 배 분다 가리는 처먹에 따와데 심바 쳐버레스 대신고에서 전세 가르잖아. 네, 늦어서도 칸다 매바지네. 마 소소근 대바 나지 들 시고랬고. 대시야라 코로나 대바 인주지 시고랬어. Never enjoy the Corona Shia Rangi machine, the Kola shit to Maris. Also, non-dealer social Lamrim legal jail. Kanda soso ko chena hela ma she to mares ne ma so nan de sit down yero Lamrim. To di chamo la tares. Soso ki she gwa de ke chamo shara sta. Yonzo de she gwa ke chamo res. She gwa de bi se karsna. Hela pa pe wala. Hela de ba no shi pe ko res ko. Pe wala rangi ma shi ba de hela pe to mares ro.
Yes.
This over cosa ci this over. Ma so tisa dirang number dira dige number chegures. Dira da timba number chegures la visitors. Dira da timba number dira da timba corona chegures ko. Dira mu nesi da timba chegura. This chegures was that dira number.
Yeah, so what you said is correct, and His Holiness Dalama mentioned that in the teachings. So, His Holiness Dalama mentioned that we should be a modern Buddhist. So, what does it mean by modern Buddhist? Is we should understand the situations or the conditions of the modern world. So, what does it mean is when we have to understand the view of different schools of thoughts, and the purpose of understanding the different views of different school of thoughts is meant for different mental dispositions of the disciples. So when we explain teachings to different mental dispositions of disciples, then we should give teachings that suits his mind or suits his mental dispositions, suit his interests. So therefore, so this is the reason why we should understand different views of different school of thoughts.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Ken, can I clarify something?
Yes.
Just now we asked the question on the four origin tradition. And you mentioned the first school is the school of proponent of true existence, Mahasangita. The second is Mahasangita. The third one is Stravira, and the fourth one is Samitya. These are not related to the Vaibhasika, Sautrantika, Chittamatra, and Madhyamika.
Ale, Zawa Deshi said the Jutama Washi Tang Diwa Yomarawas.
The Tutama should Shetan Hashimors.
The Jedama Zawa Deshi Royal.
The Jedama Shimors, say dishes was it.
Yes, these four original traditions is for different schools of great detailed explanations. So great detailed explanation is Vaibhashika. So great detailed explanation is Vaibhashika, and there are four original traditions or four original schools, and then there are those schools that you listed just now. So it's related to Vaibhashika.
Thank you.
One last question, Geshe-la. One last question. Is it true that Shariputra in the Heart Sutra, Shariputra, he is actually the Hinaya philosopher, but is a Madhyamika practitioner? Sorry, Mahayana practitioner.
Hinayana philosopher, Mahayana practitioner, right?
Yes.
Is that what you said just now?
Correct.
No, Ali. Sharipu said the Sharipu na the Sham Yingbu Sham Yingbu to the Kaza Tumbagi the Sungbe Kabla, and in Sharipu said the Temingi Tawa Zimbata, Teshingi and Yamlin Chingen de Nas.
The Yamlin Chigures Karibu, Kibachimur his law,
the Niga de Yamlin. So Shariputra is a great practitioner who practice two. So practice both of it, Hinayana and Mahayana.
Thank you. See you Saturday.
See you Saturday.
Tama sa mo che ro. Ta mo che de kanda nganso du so nganso chanju lo ri ge kanda doling chi gi za wa de la tin de ge za de ta che tem ba je wa ro de wa ta ta da mi se la nganso ne de pa new de pa do tu ya ge di che de ge za mo chi da da zang lin de la ma chu la so ba 미기라서 대다 많이요. 말랑 우아지에 뒤치다. 디 가다 다 네가 뭐뭐 지라파 아 로바 챙게 멤버다 메셔버다 벤족들 로바 챙이 고소 처먹봐 아 여러와 게 빠지 뭐요 봐 디지 피승도 봐요 디파 우아지에 진서와.
So we conclude these sessions with dedications. So we dedicate the merits accumulated, especially through these Dharma discussions on Jangchuk Lamrim, and maybe the complete course. So we dedicate these merits to the teachings, to Buddha's teachings and all sentient beings, and we also dedicate these merits to especially those. To all patients, especially those who suffered with this pandemic or this virus, and may they quickly regain health and free from sufferings. And may those who offer assistance to others, as, for example, doctors and nurses and etc. So may they live long, and may their life be free of obstacles, and may their life be filled with happiness. And we also dedicate these merits to the world peace. May the world be free of conflict, free of war, free of natural disasters, free of famine.
다게 제네 자베 개원데 대단도와 군나 강대다 제바 지진 고상자 임베니 보린도 세제 쇼 창조 생조를 보제 마제 바나 지교지 제바 냠바메 고네 곤도 배와 쇼 냠베 바에 제다 제바다 군도 상게 대한데 제데 대다 군게 제소다 로제 교와데다 장제라도 고 동니 따와를 보제 마제 바나 지교지 제바 냠바메 고네 곤도 배와 쇼 리니 따와를 보제 마제 바나 지교지 제바 냠바메 고네 곤도 배와 쇼 두산 창진 장괴 제외 댄징종 배외 근세도 보제 초수 고예 레메도 조관 다소 되제 근도 샤대 쇼 동니 제송도 주배랑 치제 선세 간제 된주근 천하 배모 된제 겨조라 소와 대소 현대 른조 쇼 인게된 강대 빈대 마뇌바 강대 중외 삼배 이신노 가디 종매 된제 겨조라 소와 대소 되제 른조 쇼为不越心康的平等的我马律中为你积累生活等这个做一下别西的把头等有句。Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Geshe-la. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you, Ken. Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Geshe-la, thank you.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.